Predominantly the handling. The Odyssey came along, and it was the first time that Spark had built an off-road racing car. Some great 4 years of great racing with it, but of course there's lots of lessons over those 4 years. So predominantly suspension geometry, the way the car handles, the ability to position and place the car, and so those have been the real big gains. We've got a slightly heavier car through necessity with the hydrogen system on board and some of the other aspects that have been mandated by the FIA, predominantly safety. But the Pioneer really deals with that extra weight well. The geometry, the way the car rolls, it's really nice. That's the biggest step forward. I think it's been an interesting process. This we know is the world's first hydrogen racing car. So they were breaking ground in all directions and working very closely with the FIA on how the car could deal with impacts and so on. So not necessarily a challenge, but that collaboration and those new processes and that new learning. So, and I think that's one of the biggest things there, and how we've developed a very performant racing car, but one that's also incredibly safe for this new generation, this new energy source. The car's evolved a huge amount. It's with some of the more detailed elements. What you've got now is basically fundamentally the same as that car that rolled out back in a wintry Europe compared to the wonderful heat that we've got here. But it's that detail, and it's more the suspension, the settings of the car, and again some of that, how we've refined some of the software and some of the sensors and everything that supply that software with information. I think those are our big steps forward. Yeah, we did around 3,000 kilometres, I think. So in other forms of motorsport, that doesn't sound like a lot, but in this, which are short format, that's actually about 3 seasons worth of racing. So it's a huge amount that we covered off, and yeah, it's a good effect. Pleased to say that the car passed the crash test first time round. So there's two different, the chassis are put in 2 different planes, 2 different angles, and then they are impacted by the 2 different types of sledge that's travelling at 45 kilometres, but it's got a huge amount of mass. So that's a lot of inertia. So whilst 45 kilometres might not sound like very fast when the chassis is there, actually with all of that huge impact, it's very, shall we say, violent. I'm pleased to say, as I say, that the car passed first time, and all of the elements that were being monitored absolutely remained perfectly intact. I'm pleased to say that the feedback's been great. The development I spoke about from Extreme E to Extreme H has really paid dividends, and the drivers are reporting whilst the car's a little bit heavier in Extreme H, they can be really precise with it. And for an off-road racing car, the big tyres and all of the dirt and sand and everything, they can, if you can see it on screen, the way they can really brush up against the waypoint flags and so on, and they can be really precise and really balance the car nicely. So good step forward, brilliant step forward.